her home.
You've come to her home. As you guys kind of come in, it's assumed from the way the turbo lift opens up into this area that the like fire pit area is kind of where people are expected to kind of wait around to be seen. And so as you guys are kind of working in that way, you hear kind of from the back, "I'll be with you in just a moment."
Lizzie makes her way that way, but on the way there, she kind of takes stock of the art. Like, Lizzie has good taste in, furniture and clothing. She tries to be pretty stylish, but she doesn't have the budget to be as slick as she would like to be, so she does the best she can with what she's got, but she's definitely taking some notes, like, when I hit the big time, this is
Do you guys
what
want
it
to do
looks
some
like.
perception rolls?
Yes. Always.
I assume.
Lizzie
Who's going to kind of hang back and make sure nobody really gets between them and the elevator.
Okay.
Yeah, and she's careful not to gawk, She's just noting. Girl.
It's average.
Usually you guys, average.
Average, got it.
That's 2 purple.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, 2 purple.
Oh, Lizzie has to one-up me, like always.
My job.
So
I get a lot more dice than you do.
Yeah, that's because this is your thing. You are perceptive.
It's my jam.
So let's see. We got an advantage for Kuman. So as you said, you're probably. I think that helps just establish that you find an easy place to stand that clearly lets no one get between you guys in the turbo lift. Where you don't look like you're ready to bolt, but you can be kind of casually leaning against a pillar or something like that gives you a good eye line around the entire floor, or at least the parts that are within the living room. So no one will be getting in your way without you noticing. Cal, I think the main thing you notice about the place with your 2 success is just that the artwork is definitely originals and one of a kinds, and the kind of art that you probably are familiar with seeing decorate some of the medical facilities that you worked in. These are high priced items, and they definitely point to someone who has a lot of money to spend. And it's kind of the same for you, Lizzie, but you have the Triumph, which lets you also establish a component of this room. You can put something in it, you can take something out, although I've only given you a fireplace and a couch and some generic artwork, but you get, with the Triumph, you get to establish something about this room.
There is a sculpture in this room, and Lizzie recognizes the piece. She knows the name of it, and she knows the artist, and she really likes it.
Okay.
And she knows when it was created, and it was a big deal. She saw it in the museum or something when it was debuted, and then it was clearly purchased by this person. So
She knows of the artist or knows the artist?
she went to the gallery opening, or the show at the gallery when it was unveiled.
So you guys got a little bit something in common, presumably, in terms of taste.
Mm-hmm. I don't think Lizzie knows the artist personally, but she knew about that particular sculpture, and she went to that event specifically to see that piece.
Who's this artist? Because I'm going to have a heck of a time thinking up it on my own. We need a name.
You should get a Star Wars name generator.
Okay. Stand by.
Definitely Stan Vo. Gan Vo.
Stan
There you
Vo.
go. It's Gan Vo.
Ganvo.
Definitely Gan Vo.
Ganvo.
Yeah, it's a self-portrait, and we noticed that
It
one
is
of his ears
not-
is missing.
Ganvo.
And is the sculpture abstract? Is it?
It's not abstract.
It's
but it has a unique
it's
paint.
various shades of white painted over each other, just one after another.
That's
The
the part. It's just
sculpture
white.
is-
It's just white. I was
just
waiting for more.
white.
The
No,
sculpture
no, that's
is,
it.
That's
It
it. It's
is-
just white.
It is it is a very organic, like abstract but organic sculpture in bronze made by the famous Nautilin artist Jan Ducade. Jan Ducade.
Yawn. I mean, I like
Yawn.
Yango, but whatever.
Dude.
I'm just kidding.
And it's called Sensate.
That is fancy. You just pulled that out.
I did just make the name up right now.
That
I
is-
mean, not the guy's name, but the sculpture name. Sensate.
Okay.
It's about 7 feet tall.
7 feet tall. Okay.
It's a large bronze sculpture. It's quite beautiful, and it's when you look at it from different angles, it presents like different profiles that are very distinct. So that's one of the cool things about it. Like one of those things that casts different shadows depending on how the lights look. Like if this is a room with a lot of windows, which I assume it is, as the sun moves across the sky, the shadow that this thing casts will morph into different like recognizable objects. It's cool.
I see. I imagine it also. It's kind of you have subdued lighting right now because it's late in the
The
evening.
flickering fireplace.
With the little flickering fireplace, and there are a couple spotlights. It's clearly a centerpiece to be noticed coming right off the elevator. So, and with that, where did my roll 20 go? Sorry, folks at home. So I do the what now? Do what now? All right, here we go. All right, and with that, Madame Vail kind of comes out from the back, and she's got this evening dress on and a fur coat and long gloves on, and what are those things called that make the cigarette extra long?
Cigarette holders.
Cigarette holders. Okay, I thought there'd be a fancy name because it looks like a fancy thing, but
did
no,
too.
I was
Cigarette
wrong.
holder.
Just what does it do? It holds a cigarette. That's what it's
All
called.
right, cigarette holder. All right, we figured this out. All right, excellent. Okay, so she's got that in her hand, and she's kind of walks in and looks around and says, "I see you're enjoying my Jan Duquesne," and takes a
Oh,
puff.
I love this piece. This is stunning. I haven't seen it since it was unveiled, several years ago, the opening. I went specifically to see this piece.
Oh, I knew I would like you, Lizzie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
knew
have
I
a
would
lot in
like you
common.
too,
Oh,
madam.
excellent. Well, it's late in the evening, so I'll get straight to the point of why I brought you here. But I find myself in a place in which I need a favor. You may not be familiar with what I do, but my reputation usually precedes me as the fixer. And one of the things that I do is help corporations with their the co-corporations and cooperation, as it were. The communications between corporations can be a bit dicey, as I'm sure you're aware, and there's usually need for a facilitator, and that's where I come in. And as you may know, I'm not tied to any specific corporation. It's what gives me my license to do what I do. And I know about you from that incident with SGI. It was all over the HoloNet 6 months ago or so ago. But the thing that stood out to me was that you, as a PI, haven't any other corporate affiliations either. And that's what made me think that you might be perfect for this favor I need to ask you. You see, I have one of the touchier subjects that comes up in my line of work, and that is the matter of defections. You see, I have a few men from that currently work at Blast Tech, and they are not too happy with the way that the structure goes. You know how it is. And they are looking to make the transfer to SGI. And I've been hired to broker the deal, and we've come to a complete negotiation and understanding. And as I like to do in these rare but extreme circumstances, is to ensure that I hire someone who can help transport the defectors from their current designated corporate area into their new location without fear of reprisals. As you know, the corporate security around here can be a bit overzealous, and I am looking for someone or group, and she kind of gestures to you, who
A smuggler.
that is a more common
rough
word that I
term,
might
Of
try.
course, it would never be a term you would use in your negotiations, but I thought you'd come to a complete and thorough understanding. Oh, with your clients, but perhaps not with their corporate affiliations.
Yes, I hold no corporate affiliations, but I am hired by the corporations, as you know, to fix situations. And that anonymity of no corporate holds is just like you. You can be hired by any corporation to investigate independently, and I
So-
do the same for my negotiations.
Right. So you're saying that SGI has hired you to
Yes,
assist these individuals in the transition
yes.
from Blast Tech to us.
The director, the executive director of SGI Area 5 up in the north, had entered into some agreements with these men from Blast Tech, and is bringing them on for his operation. And when it got serious is when they brought me in, of course, to ensure that its safety is our main concern of why you're here. Of course, is the corporate intellectual rights, as you know, can be a gray area on what is property and what is not owned by the corporations. But as we know, this is not slavery. They do not own the people, and they get to move about where they want when they want to move. And so I'm merely asking the favor of you, a paid favor, of course, to ensure the safety of these three men as they move from the Blast Tech corporate headquarters to the SGI Area 5.
I'd be happy to help. When does the transfer need to take place?
Tonight.
Oh,
Yes. They are ready to move, and negotiations have all been signed off on, and your fee has been accounted for, that you'll be paid upon the delivery at SGI Area 5. And the men are down in the parking garage below, awaiting your instruction for how best to transport there.
fantastic. We'll get right on it.
Excellent. So I assume, of course, for security's sake, that you will not be needing a car per se, but you'll be taking the public transportation, as is the custom.
Yeah, that sounds safe.
All right. Excellent. So there is a bus terminal actually runs into the basement of this building. The men are waiting in the parking garage that's just above that for your instruction. You can take the turbo lift down if you're ready to go, but of course I'm happy to answer any other questions. They just need to reach the SGI Area 5 up in the north HR building.
HR.
Yes.
Fantastic. We will get it taken care of. Pleasure doing business with you, Miss Vail.
And you. And with that, she doesn't really wait. She kind of just turns and walks out. You'll show yourselves out. And so you guys are still there,
Yes.
but assume
Yeah.
you can head down into the garage when
Lizzie
you're
takes
ready.
her hat off and starts raking her fingers through her hair. Holy crap, this is not a good thing. Like, she is unhappy. All right. What do we know about SGI HR group and Blast Tech supplies weapons for the rebels, right? And SGI tends to be Imperial run. Is that accurate?
That's mostly accurate. You find that corporations, Dragonwell is not declared a
Yeah.
side in the Galactic Civil War that is currently raging on. And so Blastech has gotten rich. They're kind of the second or third most powerful corporation on the planet by selling arms to both sides. Both
Right.
rebels and Imperials are using that, and those deals are negotiated and taken care of, kind of off planet, but the manufacturing still happens on planet. There's a lot of those arms, and then SGI has a galactic empire bent to it now. You know, they've bought into the shares and are in a way subsidizing that, and they have SGI is the most powerful company, presumably with lots of money to burn and spend. And so while Blastech definitely has a connection to the rebels, I wouldn't necessarily say that they are the rebels.
Okay, so I guess let's do this thing. Get on the train, guys.
All right.
Let's do it.
Does anyone else feel like we're expendable cannon fodder and she didn't want to...
Yup. Definitely. This is 100% a trap, and we are totally going to get ambushed, and I'm not happy about taking public transportation. Lizzie likes to rent a car for this type of situation.
Maybe we could get old Jovi.
Yeah,
I
Kuman wasn't serious. He actually...
Yeah, I know he
No,
wasn't.
that did not sound safe.
Yeah. That's why Lizzie didn't say anything. But yeah, we're definitely not taking the bus. We're not taking one of her cars because we cannot do that. But
That may be the first time Kuman was too subtle.
Yeah, right.
You know, she just completely missed the...
before. We're not direct enough.
Actually, what we need is an Imperial walker and a platoon of stormtroopers.
well, we don't have
Paid for
that.
by you.
Right, yeah. So let's go downstairs and see what our options are.
All right. So the turbo lift takes you guys right back down. You're welcome to discuss any more of the plan, but I'll give you the layout as it opens up on the floor above the basement floor. There's 3 men standing there, kind of just their arms are kind of crossed, and they're just kind of silently, gruffly, kind of waiting.
Yeah, that's my other question. Are these people being coerced into leaving, or is this human trafficking?
What you see as you come
sense.
off the turbo lift is that it's just the 3 men that she referenced, and
There's no one forcing them to be there.
there's nobody else there. So
But that doesn't mean that they're necessarily there voluntarily. I want to get the sense from them that they want to move to SGI, not that they're being coerced.
So as you guys step off the elevator, I think there's one of them who looks a little bit broader than the others, and he kind of claps his hands like, "All right, let's do this."
Thanks for joining us. You know the deal here. Subscribe to stay tuned to our misadventures. If you enjoyed us, give us a like and hit that bell icon. And of course, keep us honest on the rules and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time on the Dicey Cantina.